They struggled England last night, no more than Harry Kane. Harry Kane's been subbed twice in 2 games. He'd never been subbed in qualifying games before. I do wonder about Harry because there was a lot of stuff before the end of the season that came out about wanting to leave Spurs. His career's been on the up all the time. Harry's not experienced the downside. It's always been on the up for Harry. He's, getting Golden Boot winner, goals regularly, national team, having great goal scoring record. He's not had that, certainly in the last year or two. His record is nowhere near the same. So he's had challenges personally. And obviously leaving the football club and making it quite clear that it's time for him to go, it feels like it's drained him in some way.
But he has brought that on himself.
Yeah.
Because he may have that interview with Gary Neville, which I know some people will say some of the stuff that he said in that interview, he's already said before. But he knew if you're going to have an interview like that and you talk about, I want to be playing in Champions League finals and I want to emulate Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, and you're alluding to the fact you want to do it elsewhere because that's the only place you're going to be able to achieve that, he knew he was going to blow up.
Yeah.
So he's brought that upon himself. He could have thought, say nothing and I can focus on the Euros.
Yeah. And
if that is the
you're
issue.
right. I don't know. I'm speculating. I might be totally wrong. But Gareth might be a little bit angry that all this came out before the Euros because I don't know if Cristiano Ronaldo, and people might go, how can you compare Ronaldo, or let's go Romelu Lukaku, who's been taken off by Belgium, they'd be happy about being taken off. No. I don't think they would be. They're there to win the Golden Boot, and so is Harry Kane. He's been subbed twice. Now, there's obviously something that Gareth doesn't feel is right about Harry because he had never ever subbed him before.
Well, it was he's underwhelming, isn't he?
He was
so
undroppable,
far.
and he was you would never even dream of substituting him unless you're winning the game 5-0, 4-0. You're keeping Harry on because you know he can get you a goal. That's changed. So the opening 2 games of this tournament, he's got subbed against Croatia, then he's been subbed last night, and Harry comes out and says the right thing, it's important for the team, and blah, blah, blah. There was no way on earth Harry Kane would be happy about not getting on the score sheet, not playing his part, being a bit of an also running the side Nat, because that's what he's been so far. It feels like Harry's been redundant.
But are England carrying him then?
Well, they've carried him for the first couple of games, but I think the team hasn't helped because they haven't really produced, as Gareth has said, chances. He needs chances. If he gets them, he'll score goals. He drops deep
as well. He's not always in the box to get onto those chances. But I totally agree. I mean, they weren't necessarily chances for him to get onto.
No.
But that also I find bizarre that he comes so deep these days. If you want to be a Golden Boot winner, do you not have to be a bit selfish and just be in and around the box?
Well, let's say maybe they're not too lazy, the opposition. They might have looked and say, let's drop a bit deeper against England because if we negate the space, it sort of suffocates England and makes England go elsewhere with the ball. So let's say they've done their homework and say, well, this is one of the best ways to stop Kane and stop England from creating chances. So I'd like to give a little bit of praise to certainly Croatia and Scotland because they both did it. And I know Croatia ended up losing the game. But we can't. If we've said today that and we've gone, Harry Kane's had 3 glorious chances, missed them all. It's cost England the game. That's different. You could sort of make a bit more of a case. He hasn't had really a decent chance in the game, in the 2 matches.
So, as you pointed out, he's been subbed twice, which is unheard of, as you pointed out, for Harry Kane. So, will he start? Could he be dropped?
Yes, but I would love for Kane himself and to get... I'd love a conversation. I've heard this a few times in my career. Managers have done this. You go up to him today, you're saying you're playing next game. Bar injury, you're playing the whole 90 minutes, by the way. Just let him know. Give him a bit of confidence. Now, you might say, well, Harry Kane don't need confidence. He's a striker that's had that for abundance for the last 8 years, 9 years since he's been playing, or 10 years since he's been in the Spurs team. Now, I think he needs a little bit of boost. He looks drained to me. And I heard Jason Cundy talking last night saying he looked leggy. He does look leggy. But mentally, you can be drained. And that drained can... Look, physically, you can look out of sorts. And he looks out of sorts. I think he needs to have a little bit of a lift. And I think that lift can be by Gareth saying, you're going to play and you're going to play 90 minutes. And
now he's in that unusual position of knowing he could be hooked off at any moment.
Well, now he'd be looking at that.
Yeah.
He knows it's coming. I said 5 minutes before, not because it was quite obvious, I'm sure lots of people might have said the same thing. I said he's going to take him off. I'll take him off, and 5 minutes later he was off the pitch. Now, Harry Kane, in his head, is thinking... Well, if it's 0-0 and I haven't scored, or, we're losing, maybe not so much if they're losing, but just generally might think, if I'm not quite doing it, I'm off. he's going to get substituted. Now, he's your England captain as well. It's not like he's just the centre forward. He's the captain of the club. Oh, sorry, the national team. But there's a number of players who are playing in this tournament. If they got subbed and they're forwards, imagine Robert Lewandowski hasn't played for Poland at times in tournaments. They don't sub him.